And then Layla, let's see if you can get this. Where is the stress on intelligibility and what number syllable is that? Not quite, Layla. Layla, for the adjective intelligible, you're absolutely right. Intelligible. Intelligible. But listen to me, intelligibility. The last one, Bercy, but Layla on bit, which is 5, okay? Intelligibility. Intelligibility. And sometimes I will repeat ability and then add intelligibility and try and repeat it. I can't hear you, obviously, but try and repeat it. I may click, intelligibility. I may nod, intelligibility. I may clap, intelligibility. Just to help students, of course, Layla is right. Intelligible, unintelligible. And that difference between a noun and an adjective should be highlighted, I think, for students. So let's come back now and just confirm that intelligibility is the outcome of both traits working together in PTE. Intelligibility is the pronunciation trait and the oral fluency trait. Pronunciation measures how clearly your learners produce vowels, consonants, and diphthongs, and word and sentence level stress, so that they are easily understood by regular speakers of English. It considers also features of connected speech, and we'll come on to that. So the goal is very much intelligibility, not a particular accent. And you know that our scoring engine has been trained on hundreds of different accents. It's about whether the test taker is intelligible, i.e. easily understood by regular speakers of English. And the same goes for oral fluency. Oral fluency measures the smoothness, rhythm, and phrasing of your learner's speech. It evaluates whether they can maintain a natural pace without hesitations, repetitions, false starts, or non-native phonological simplifications. The goal is natural flowing speech, not perfection. And today I'm not following a script. So you will also hear me probably pause. You may hear some fillers. It is natural, but we don't expect perfection, but the goal is to try and minimize these as much as possible for a high score. Farah, I'm in London, okay? My accent is definitely British, and I say intelligible, unintelligible, and intelligibility. But do check with with a dictionary and just jump between the British and American pronunciation to see if there are any differences. So, what the school guide tells us. We have 2 school guides. We've got the PT Academic School Guide and the PT Core School Guide, and I will share the links to those later. Most teachers assume pronunciation equals sounds, but actually the PT School Guide tells a much bigger story. Intelligibility isn't just one trait, it's both pronunciation and oral fluency. Together, they answer one question. Can a regular speaker of English understand the learner or the test taker? Do they speak naturally? Do they speak clearly? Do they speak without effort? And that's the standard you should be aiming for in your PTE preparation classes. Farah, it does not matter. It does not matter. Remember, it's about intelligibility. Can a regular speaker of English understand the learner? The specifics of accents is not important. In fact, our scoring engine is trained on hundreds of different accents. So just please walk away today that intelligibility is what's really, really important. Now, I will show you, Farah, a list of what I mean by intelligible, and accents do not appear. Okay? So let's have a look, first of all, at pronunciation here. In the score guide, we have a list of what's really important for a high score, and we call these sub-traits of pronunciation. We then have a definition of the sub-trait, and we have the PT examples as well of these sub-traits. So can you put in the chat which ones specifically you would like help with defining? So I think for everyone, vowels and consonants and diphthongs are pretty standard. Test takers need to be able to pronounce English vowels, English consonants, and English diphthongs. For example, oi, in koi, and tow, in towel. But again, it doesn't need to be in a particular accent. It just needs to be intelligible. Word stress, I think we understand because we practice with intelligibility. Sentence stress is the same. Sentence stress is the same. I'm stressing sentence and same in the sentence. Vonnie, let's talk about that at the end, okay? Can you leave that question and maybe come back to it? When a sound changes to become more like a neighboring sound. So for example, look here, we've got written 10 bags. 10 bags. But we don't say that in connected speech. We say 10 bags. 10. Can you see? My lips are closing to form the M sound. And actually it sounds like 10 bags. 10 bags. That is an example of assimilation. Deletions, often called elision, is when a sound is dropped. So for example, next please, the T is elided or the T is deleted. Continuous speech, speaking in a natural connected flow rather than word by word. So again, this is making sure that we, provide the appropriate stress words in a sentence. Some students have problems with consonant clusters, so lots of consonants together. For example, street, and stress distortions. Some students put the stress on the wrong syllable. And stress-dependent vowel reduction. Unstressed syllables in English are sometimes stressed by students, by test takers. So for example, or in a word, banana, no, banana. The turns into a schwa sound, banana. And this can also happen in a sentence, that students don't pronounce they stress the weaker words in the sentence, such as prepositions and articles, not the words that carry the most meaning. So all of these words are taken from the school guide, and the first thing for PT teachers, particularly new teachers, is to make sure that you understand these. Does it sound flat or mechanical, or does it have that natural beat? And normally you can assess that pretty quickly. Phrasing is a synonym of chunking, grouping words into meaningful chunks rather than speaking word by word. And that comes with a lot of practice, I think. A lot of practice. That's one chunk, for example. Word emphasis is stressing the key content words, as we discussed, okay? The verbs, the nouns, the adjectives, usually not prepositions, articles. Word emphasis is essentially stress. The kind of key content words that highlight the most meaning. So Magda is a teacher. Magda is a teacher. Is not emphasized here. Hesitations, unnatural pauses or fill pauses with not good. Repetitions, sometimes students repeat a word or a phrase unnecessarily just to kind of buy time.